week, we're going to talk about Nvidia broadcast software. We're going to review the new Night Court. And I'm going to answer the question, what did Charlie do? And now your host, Mike Indeglio.
What is up, team? Welcome to K&M Geekly, just a sneak peek at two geeks talking about some of the things that have gotten them through their week and into the next. Keith, for me, starting right off the bat, it's the NFC Championship game between my Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers. Going to be one heck of a game. Check that out. Well, it already happened if you're watching. But speaking,
Mike's going to be so happy or so sad.
I know. And joining me today, as always, is my NFC beast. That's Keith Varney. Keith, how you doing, low pixel Keith?
How am I doing? Am I better?
Oh, my God. It's so much better.
Miracle.
Okay.
This is the geeky show we can talk about this stuff with, though, because we keep trying to figure out how to dial ourselves in reliably, making all of our computers talk to each other and doing a live show broadcast on lots of different things. So, but low pixel, Keith, I'm doing pretty good. Been busy, but not. I'm not. My Giants are dead, which was very sad. We talked about that last week, but that's not necessarily breaking news or a surprise in any way, shape, or form. But that's okay. My sports world is still fantastic. As a Boston Hockey Bruins fan, we are on a season for the ages.
Yeah, it could be the most wins of any hockey team.
We're on a pace. Now, I hate it when we talk about this now, just a little past the midpoint, because what we're doing is utterly unsustainable. We're going to get hurt. We're going to go through a slump. Everybody calm down. However, it's been pretty extraordinary as a Bruins fan.
Yeah, I tried to watch another hockey game last night, and I just couldn't do it. Now, maybe, Keith, I've never sworn my allegiance to the Philadelphia Flyers. So, I guess I could jump on the Bruins bandwagon now and just ride that train.
Jump the hell on, buddy. And look, I can say this genuinely as a former Flyers fan who jumped to the Bruins. Or I sort of jumped to the Flyers, then back to the Bruins. It's a long story, but I grew up in Vermont. It's Bruins territory. Definitely not the Habs. Screw the Habs. But the only Vermonter ever to play in the NHL was John LeClair, who played at the University of Vermont, used to watch him play at college. He was drafted by Montreal and then eventually traded to Philadelphia, where he broke out and became a big star. So I followed him. I was a fan of him, and so I became a Flyers fan while he was there. But when he retired, I migrated back to home base, and that is my Boston Hockey Bruins, and I have not missed a game in now 12 years.
Okay.
So I have seen every single Boston Hockey Bruins game since 2010, 2011.
I've still never been to a professional hockey game.
We got to change that.
Yeah.
We got to change that. Maybe. All right. Maybe we can set up a date, right? So next time the Bruins play here in New Jersey at Newark, which is only like 20 minutes from where I am, we can go together and I will entice you into the world of the Boston Hockey Bruins.
All right. I'll mull it over. A lot of exciting things over on this side of the aisle.
Wow,
Keith.
that was a no.
We talked to your mortgage broker guy today. We're starting the slowest of wheel turns into a potentially becoming homeowners, but we'll see. We'll see. That is to say, I wanted to quickly mention, we got a comment on the video last week. It was not a negative comment. It was just a reminder. We were talking about cloud gaming through the Nvidia GeForce Now. And someone was basically saying, hey, even coming up with 30 megabits up and down on their ISP is a place of privilege, because it's not available in some places and extraordinarily
100%.
expensive in others. And I thought I've done a clear job of it. If not, I'll make another clear job of it. Keith and I work very hard. We're very privileged to be firmly lower middle class. Which is
firmly on the lower part.
Yeah, but regardless, so all of the gadgets and things we're able to buy and play with, we are privileged to do so. Because of where I work for a tech company. I'm able to kind of get my hands on some things that probably I wouldn't do otherwise. So just
no, 100%. I actually two things on that. One, I had very much know that because in the last 8 months finally helped my parents get high-speed internet. They, up until less than a year ago, their best case scenario was 2.5 down, 500K up.
Yeah, makes sense.
And because, we live on the side of a mountain in the middle of nowhere. And so now they're using the T-Mobile 5G, which still doesn't get 30 down, 30 up, and it's not stable because it's Wi-Fi, but it is wildly better. So believe me, I understand that. And actually, and dovetailing with that, I actually commented on somebody's post on one of the toys reviews of the playset. It was basically like, "This is great. I can't afford it," and I'm like, "Me neither, buddy." The show "Look at My Star Trek Toys" is a long con to get free toys I couldn't afford. So
yeah, and we can. I tend to watch a ton of YouTube, and a lot of that is because I like to look at stuff that I either can't afford or can't have, because a lot of the custom stuff we look at aren't for sale, and or are cost prohibitively expensive. True. And in fact, one of the things I wanted to do today, Keith, I have a colleague who turned me on to, and I haven't looked yet. Swear is I'm a big guy on Reddit. I like Reddit. It's sort of the new Twitter that without, well, maybe not new. Regardless, Reddit's been around a long time, and there's a /geek, there's a subreddit Geek that posts a lot of stuff about custom and cool action figures and mods and cool stuff. I don't know much about it, so I thought today we'd take a, hopefully not a not safe for work dive, but I thought we'd take a look at the top posts of the month on /geek. So we'll do that at the end of the show. I don't know how that's going to go. Yeah, I don't know how it's going to go.
I know what's out there on like message boards and stuff. Like, it's not good.
Yeah, but my buddy's not a weirdo, so hopefully this will be cool.
First time we edit the show.
Yeah, or just the last time we run that segment. Anyways, we'll get there. But before that, I wanted to talk a little bit about something absolutely creepy and weird.
Yes.
So we talked about, so clearly Keith and I are trying to do a live show remotely without too much editing. And we've for the most part gotten it down to an acceptable amount of post work necessary.
We have accepted our level of badness. Yes. I think is really what the issue is. So we don't edit because we're like, we tolerate it.
But as far as like open source broadcasting, it's insane. We've talked about it on the show. I won't belabor the point. What you can do for using free software, ostensibly.
Yeah.
Now, the next thing is also free, but I will say that it requires a pretty beefy computer, and you must have an Nvidia RTX video card. And now the RTX cards started with their 200 level cards. Now they're into the 2000 level cards. Now they're into the 4000 level cards. And the past 2 years, these cards are like prohibitively expensive to get your hands on them. Now their MSRP for some of the mid-tier ones are like $500-$600, which is an insane amount of money. But if you're building a PC, you know how it goes. Okay. Anyway, I happen to have an RTX card, so I downloaded this free software called Nvidia Broadcast. Now, the initial appeal of this was for microphones. What this does is it'll take, you know what, Keith? Why don't we pop over and take a peek?
Ooh, let's pop over. Yeah, let's take a peek.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up. I hope I don't blow up my computer. I'm going to open up the software here. So now I have my webcam dialed in over here. So
yeah,
I've got two cameras running. So it's a little out of focus, but you get the point. So you see, I can go over to my microphone here, and I can select a microphone, and then it'll do all this cool noise removal or echo removal. It's got all kinds of options. I'm running through a soundboard, so I'm not going to demo any of that. So that's ostensibly what I had initially kind of checked it out for.
Right.
Then they started popping in camera options. Now, if you remember from your Zoom meetings and stuff, Zoom used to do a thing like virtual backgrounds where it would sub out your background, and like it was really bad how it would pop in and pop out.
Yeah.
And it would like slow your computer down to a grinding halt. This is going to do the same thing. Now, you and I always use green screens because it's the easiest way to key out your background, put something else in without having to worry about like popping in and out. What's super cool about what Broadcast can do now, and they just released a new version this week that has updated all of their AI using their new neural engine thing. And here's a couple of the things it can do that I find really cool. So remember, the image on your right, though a little out of focus because of the web capture or the window capture, is just a stock webcam. Okay, it's like it's one of the we've talked about a pretty high quality webcam. First thing I can do if I want. Now you'll see my webcam here on the left of your screen. That's using a DSLR camera, so it's got a really nice bokeh effect because I'm shooting at f-stop 1.4. So that's really shallow depth of field. Can't do that on a webcam, obviously. But what this will do is simulate it with this background blur feature, which I find to be actually pretty effective to like isolate the focus of the person. Now you can do it, that's pretty insane, obviously, but if you lower it down, I mean, that's a pretty reasonable approximation of like a shallow depth of field. And you can see I'm not popping or jumping in or out. That's like pretty cool.
It's a lot better than it was on like the Zoom.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. Now, another thing I can do out here is something called the vignette. And just like you can do on a vignette in post, obviously, I can go ahead and pop a vignette on here, which is really kind of cool if I wanted to, if that's an effect you wanted to do or whatnot.
Nice.
But that's not what I really wanted to talk about today, Keith.
No.
They have something new. Now, it's called AI eye tracking, or excuse me, no, it is called eye contact.
Can you zoom in
Yes.
to see your face more?
Let's do that.
Because this is there you go. Oh, I love it.
All right. So as you can see, when I'm looking at the screen here, I'm looking off. I'm looking at myself, and so I'm looking off. And that'll often happen if you're doing like a something for work or a presentation, or you're reading off a script, or at least referring to notes, as often happens. Generally, you're not staring off the entire time. In fact, I do it for effect, so it looks like I'm kind of referencing Keith, who's in a green screen to my right usually.
I'm above now. You got to look up.
Yeah, it's Brady Bunch style. Anyway, I'm belaboring the point here. It's going to AI generate my eyes, taking into account when I blink. Every once in a while, if I look far off, it'll cut my eyes over. And what it's doing, they asked, I had to opt in. It's capturing real-time data so that eventually it can offer different eye colors, eye shapes, eye things, and just catalog a bunch of eyeballs so it can make your best approximate your eyes.
So
anyhow,
the purpose of this is to make it appear as though you're looking at the camera even when you're not.
Yeah, so like this would have been great for kids in school. if you're looking at your referring. Okay, so Keith, I'm now referring to my notes, and I'm going to pop this on.
Yeah, turn it on.
Okay, I'm looking at the camera. Now I am not looking at the camera.
Right. Well, this is great because we have the two cameras
side by side
going, so you can look down to see where his eyes really are, and then look to your right and see what the AI.
So you can tell in the
doing.
frames of my glasses, even it is. Now you can see me blink, and every once in a while, it's kind of making me refer over, so it's not totally creepy.
If you move your head fast, it's terrifying.
When does it kick back in? Now you can. It's even maintaining. If you look, the key light in the frames of my glass reflection.
God, that's amazing.
That's in absolute insanity.
To be doing that live.
Now you can tell that is not my eyeballs, and it loses a little bit of clarity in them. But in a pinch, if I'm zoomed out again, like we
if you're zoomed out and we're not like having our attention drawn to it specifically.
Yeah, I mean, I'm clearly not looking, and that is pretty nuts to me.
That's crazy.
And this is, like I said, it's in beta, and it's only a couple days old, so they haven't even.
It's only going to get better and better.
Yeah. So that being said, I can add to that. Where's my mouse? I can add to that the background removal. So this is now you can see behind me. This is my room. There's no green screen behind me, and there is no solid colors. In fact, there's a lot of different neons going on, and my guitar's back there. It's a very busy background. So how is the AI in removing my background? Pretty insane.
That's great.
Usually has a lot of trouble with gray hair. You can see with my hands, I'm totally keyed. It's catching no shadows. It's not blunking me in and out.
Yeah. That's creepy, man. That's creepy.
So I'm now not looking at the camera, and I don't have a green screen. So I am like 66%, maybe more, artificially generated right now.
All we have to do is attach this to Chat GPT of what would two idiots say on the internet. We don't even have to do anything. I just set it to go. It'll release the shows by itself.
Actually, that brings up a really solid point, Keith. I actually have not. Have you looked at Chat GPT at all?
I have not. I have. I don't know if I said it on one of the shows, but I definitely fielded like a late night panicked phone call from a writer friend of mine. It was like, do we exist anymore? Do we get to write anything anymore? Do we matter anymore?
It's weird. My sister was working on a term paper for a master's class, and she basically had it generate like a 7-page paper for her. Now, obviously, my sister did not turn that paper in, but she was experimenting. She had already written the paper, and then she put in her site.
Just curious.
She was like, cite the following resources online, and it did it. So, you know what? Let's just go in and do this. Because I've never even looked at it, Keith. I've only read reports and stuff on it, so I want to see what
Can you give it have it give us a 2-person script for it's terrifying, and the only thing I could think of that would calm my writer buddy down, because he's like, right, why would studios pay for a screenplay that a human wrote when they could have just ChatGPT do it or anything like that? And the only thing I can think of to make that better is the fact that it's not going to be free forever. For sure, this is going to be monetized, and it's going to be behind a paywall, and it still may be cheaper than humans. But I think that once they realize you can make a lot of money off of the output of ChatGPT, it's going to get locked right down again, and then it's going to be another writer we're competing against, as opposed to replacing everybody immediately. So I think that is, I think that's the only that makes me feel less like killing myself.
So I've never done this before. So basically, I just asked it to write a paragraph thanking our patrons, telling them how important it is to support small business, tell them that supporting the show as a producer is one of the best things a person can do, tell them we love them. And
that the Eagles suck.
Mention that the Eagles suck.
Yes.
All right, so folks.
Let's see what happens. Here we go. Cold read. Thank you so much to all of our patrons for your continued support. Small businesses like ours rely on the support of our community to keep going. We are so grateful to each and every one of you. By supporting us as a producer, you are not only helping us to keep creating content, but you are also helping sustain the diverse and vibrant small business ecosystem that makes our world a better place. We truly appreciate each and every one of you and want you to know that we love and value your support. And let's be real, the Eagles suck. Wow. Okay, Keith. First of all, I should mention that below this, you guys can't see it, is still, I have the Nvidia broadcast still open, and it's just me staring at myself with a creepy fake AI eyes. And I just scared myself. I'm turning it off. Okay, let's do one more, because that blew my mind a little bit more than I thought. Also, for Pixel, but I'm reading Pixels. That was a pretty good cold read. If you ever need any voiceovers, I'm ready to go.
All right.
My God, that's so much better.
Okay, let's try a new one. Keith, you give me a prompt here.
Okay, the prompt is
right. How about let's fake write a song. Let's write lyrics to a song, since we can do that. Write lyrics to a song called. Just give me a title.
Why Star Trek is better than Star Wars.
Why Star Trek is better than Star Wars. Make the lines rhyme.
Mm-hmm.
And use the character Quark. Well,
okay, let's find out.
What do I hit? Send.
Gotta hit enter, yeah.
Verse 1.
In
the galaxy far, far away, there's a war that's fought every day. But for me, it's not where I want to be. I'll take a trip on the U.S. Enterprise. Chorus. Why Star Trek is better than Star Wars. It's got a Ferengi named Quark. It's got science and exploration and a story that never gets old. No hesitation. The scanting needs some work. With Captain Kirk at the helm, we'll boldly go where no one else has. On the Enterprise, we'll make new friends and face new challenges that never end. It's trying to rhyme these couplets instead of... All right, so...
I mean, but it's pretty creepy.
Outro, even. So come and join me on this ride. On the U.S. Enterprise, we'll glide. Through space and time, it's truly grand. That's why Star Trek is better than Star Wars.
So come and join me on this ride. On the USS Enterprise we'll glide. Through space and through time is truly grand. That's why Star Trek is better than Star Wars. Wow.
6 lines.
Okay. we eventually have to move on.
We are going to. This is. I would like to recite you a poem, Keith, if that's okay.
Okay, thank you.
K&M Geekly, a sight to behold, a community of geeks, young and old, a place for fandoms to share and discuss, where passion and knowledge never go amiss. With events and meetups all year round, K&M Geekly, a nerd's playground.
Wow.
Wait, I needed an outro for the show. This is it. This is it.
Wow.
For K&M Geekly. It should be 2 lines, and I'm sure we're not even touching the beginning of what this can do. I've seen some crazy.
I'm sure,
but
yeah.
It's the first time we've played with it, so thanks for indulging us. All right, so you know what? I'm going to take this down and not let you see it, Keith.
Okay. And it seems to be struggling with that.
It's
able to write a Star Trek song immediately, but wow. Okay.
So the robots are coming. The robots are coming.
The robots are already here. They just haven't chosen to reveal themselves to us yet.
So you know what, Keith? As much as the robots are coming to take over, there's one thing that they've yet to usurp, and that's network primetime comedy.
Yeah.
So
it sure is.
You had a chance to check out a couple of episodes of the new Night Court reboot. I have watched the first 10 minutes of the pilot. So
which I only watched because you mentioned that you were excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
So
because
it came up on the Peacock.
You'll recall, Keith and I started with a podcast called Out of Practice Podcast, and our favorite character, recurring character, guest character was Joey Herrick, played by the incomparable John Larroquette. Not long after his sort of breakout in the original Night Court, and now it's back. The judge, oh my God, what's his name?
Harry.
No, the actor.
Oh.
Also Harry.
Yeah, Harry, hold on. I've got the wrong Night Court pulled up. Harry Anderson. Yes.
He passed on, but in the show, his daughter is now the judge of the Night Court, and Larroquette is back. That's kind of the big thing, Keith. You checked it out. I'll give you my first. I'm going to go back to it because I should mention kind of where I was at with the whole thing. While I do that, hold on. I forgot to take my sync. I wasn't syncing the audio, but that's okay. We're going to do it on the fly. It doesn't matter. I can sync it up.
It's fine. We've already talked about our commitment to mediocrity here on the show. So you watched the original Night Court when you were a kid.
I did, yes. And I loved it. I thought it was really funny. It was I was younger and I knew I wasn't supposed to be watching it. It was sort of like Married with Children for me, so I dug it. I was a big fan. So anyway,
ran from 1984 to 1992.
So anyway, I'm sort of recently bristling a little bit at network comedies, even dramas. Like I really tried to get into the new Quantum Leap and just like I really have to force myself. I found myself skimming and I didn't find myself reading the Wikipedia because I don't want to. It's just something about the tone and the especially
how dumbed down it is.
Yeah, so watered down, and the comedy specifically. I know that they still are filming a lot of them with live studio audiences, but the reactions seem so curated that it doesn't even seem legitimate. Like back in the heyday in the 90s, with your friends and your Golden Girls in the 80s and your Everybody Loved Raymond.
Frasier. Yeah.
These audiences would be just clearly live and clearly having the best times of their lives and some great reactions. And now it just seems so curated. I got to give it another shot to see to see Larroquette do his thing. But anyway, I was turned off pretty quickly. I'm hoping you can tell me that I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. It's look, it is its own thing. Network, multicam sitcoms with a live studio audience. At this point, it almost feels a bit like a museum piece. I haven't watched something intentionally with a laugh track since, I don't know, the first season of Sports Night. Like 20 something years ago, because unless it's something so meticulously and well crafted, like Frasier was. Frasier was a drawing room farce, a play, a live play done all the time. And it was really fun and really, really well done. But most of it's schlock. And the comedy is both dumb and safe. And I'm not saying I need it to be like edgy, but just be funny at least. So it is a bit of a throwback. It is a it's interesting. I haven't watched a lot of it. I did find it appeal. It's fine. Like it's appealing. I think the performers are funnier than the writing. It's a delight to see John Larroquette back. I think the standout of the show is Lacretta, who plays the bailiff, who is a not a friend but like a buddy of mine. We did a reading together. And she's a good writer. We swapped writing.
It was a great bull. The bailiff character from the original was great too. So I'm glad that that's continued.
Yeah, and so I think she's by far the most appealing thing in the show. She's what I think gets the most laughs, has the most personality, has the most interesting character, because the characters are so bland and like it's like you can most of them can be described in one sentence. And what I like about Lacretta's character is that she's weird. The character has a very odd sense of humor and is as goofy. And and look, it's not fair to judge these shows on a pilot in the first 2 episodes. All of the great shows that we've come to love take some time to get their feet and to develop these characters and figure out what's going on. So I mean, I think I'll keep watching. It's like a second screen when I'm playing Xbox, but it's because I didn't watch the original show because we didn't get NBC. But I remember watching a couple of episodes at my grandparents' house. And it was sort of the same thing, like, ooh, this is naughty. Right. I was like 8 years old or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It is exactly what it's trying to be, which is an old school throwback to a 80s network sitcom. And I think it lands on that.
Yeah. I don't. This is a completely different conversation, but I will say. So I'm a documentary buff. People who've watched our content for a while should know I'm all about documentaries, true crime documentaries, any kind of documentary. In fact, one of my there's this great documentary this year up for an Academy Award called Fire of Love. I think it's about these 2 volcanologists and their love and their study of things. But a trend I've noticed recently on Netflix and a lot of streaming platforms is this sort of almost AI generated documentary content coming out. There's one on Netflix I just watched called like the hatchet wielding hitchhiker, or there's the Bernie Madoff thing. And basically what they do is they're taking like things that were memes or internet sensations or big news items and just basically getting some stock B-roll or some recreations and just making really rudimentary type documentaries without any sort of filmmaking. And in the beginning, that was fine, especially during pandemic. You had your Tiger Kings or whatever. And then better yet, splice them up to an 8-hour docuseries,
Right.
And I'm starting to sort of turn the corner on it and get my nose up a little bit about, like, come on, there's craft to some of this storytelling. Speaking of, I'll have more to say about it next week, but I'm trying to catch up on all the best picture nominees this year. I don't think I'll get there, but one I'm watching right now is Tar, which is the Kate Blanchett feature about a classical music conductor, an EGOT winner. And let me tell you, the first 15 minutes of this film, she gives a 15-minute monologue that is just so exquisite, so well paced, so centered. She has a different voice than you've ever heard her use before. It's so good, but beyond that, the dialogue is incredible. The way it's edited and cut is very specific. The way it's shot is very specific. You can tell it's on film. The way it's color corrected. The way it's just a precision film. And you're like, oh yes, there are true artists working in this medium, and it's nice when you see that after watching so much of the things we watch on the streaming platforms now that have just need to get done quickly.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you bring that up because the other thing I watched this week, also a well-crafted film about a predator. I watched She Said. I think it's on Paramount Plus or Peacock. I forget which streaming platform it was on. I won't get into that much deep, but I thought it was a really well-crafted. Because you think like, oh, it's about Weinstein, Harvey Weinstein. And you think like, oh God, this is going to be so depressing and so stressful, in which it sort of is, but it's not about that. It's about reporters tracking down the story. It's a true story of the New York Times reporters who tracked down that story and going to publishing. And I thought they did a really beautiful job of telling that story. And I appreciate the craft of a film where you can build genuine suspense as you're copy editing a story to be published. Like the finale of the movie is like, okay, we fixed all the typos. We agree to go to publish. We press the button. We press the publish button, and that's like the finale. But it genuinely builds the suspense up to it. And I thought the performances were great, and it tells an important story that I think we're losing track of just a touch. So
I will say that some things have ruined me. Like you bring it up, and so Tar, and then I'm watching Triangle of Sadness and the Banshees of Inisherin. I'm sorry if I mauled that title. All kind of concurrently, and realizing that, you know what, Keith, though I love going to the movies, something really nice about watching a 3-hour movie in installments on my own setup, and I can pee and then do a show, and I don't have to finish. There's something really nice about that.
Now you're getting it.
I don't know what that's going to do to the industry, but I guess we'll find out. Anyway, we're all over the place today, but let's talk about your cat, Keith. There's a story?
Goodness! I have an amazing story that happened last night. So if I look a little sleepy, it's because of my buddy, a frequent guest on the show, Charlie Jr., my beloved cat.
Awesome cat.
He's an amazing cat. Rescued him here in New Jersey. Looks exactly like Charlie Sr., and that's sort of why we picked him out. He turns out to be his own special guy. He's amazing. But last night, right like maybe 3 minutes after I fell asleep for real, he threw a live mouse at me.
What?
And you're like, oh, well, that's, what a silly way to say that. I wonder what that really means. It's got to be, a metaphor or hyperbole. No, he literally threw a live mouse at me on the bed. So here's what happened. Like I've just fallen asleep, and then I hear him tearing around the room like a banshee, like a lunatic, and I'm like, oh God. And this is only the second mouse I've seen in the house the entire time we've ever been here. I turn on the lights, right? And then it's like, oh shit, he's got a real mouse that he's like chasing around the bedroom. And like he caught it for a while, and I'm like, okay, all right, well, good job, buddy. You got him. Then he lets him go, and then chases him again and reaches to like hit him. And my bed is up very high. It's like 3 feet off the ground. And I'm lying there watching him, and he goes to swat at it and hits it at such an angle, it flies in the air all the way up onto the top of the bed. And this is like threw the mouse like 6 feet in the air. And I had to like reach up the blankets to try to block it. And then it fell back down on there. I was like, you throw a mouse at me. And then
he's like, you're welcome.
Here's the thing. It got down. He caught it again. Then it got away again.
So he's not into the killing of the mouse. He just wants
apparently not. Because the dum-dum, I'm just like, what is going on? And I see the mouse leave and run out under the door into the hallway. And the dum-dum didn't see it. He was like, is he under the trash can? And I'm like, no, but he's over there. Open the door, I turn on the light, I point where he went. He's like, I swear he's in the trash can. I don't know what happened to the mouse. The mouse is still somewhere in the damn house, like laughing his ass off. Took a flight.
I wish you could hear my kitten is kitten. He's a year now, but he's sitting on the desk staring at this Charlie picture, making all kinds of sounds. He wants to play with your cat.
Oh, no kidding.
It's not real, Tux. That's a picture. He's so fat. Well, Charlie, I can't wait till the next mouse you catch. Next time, though, I want to hear about you mauling it and putting a bloody mouse on Keith. That's a funnier story.
I mean, no, he did. The first time, he killed the mouse immediately and brought it to me like a good boy should. And here's the thing. I think he brought the mouse up from the basement. My bedroom's on the second floor. And I think because like he has a cat door into my bedroom, and I heard it open sort of weirdly before he came in. I think he caught it in the basement, took it up 2 flights up to show me, but it was still alive. And then who knows where it is? Meanwhile, of course, did I sleep very well, or did I imagine a mouse running over me all night long?
Well, that is, I think the bigger issue is that you have mice, Keith.
I have a mouse. Like,
there's normally more than one mouse.
You're about to be a homeowner. Look out.
About is a come on, bud. Oh God, speaking of these things, they're such a pain in the ass. We love them, but come on.
Oh, hi, Tux.
Come on, bud.
Yeah. So anyway, that definitely messed with my sleep last night when I will never forget the image of a mouse hurtling towards my face that I had to literally block.
He just won't take no. It's funny you say that because me and Jen, I made my wife set up a picnic or a camping sleeping bag and some blankets on the living room floor last night and sleep with me on the floor because I am a nomadic sleeper. Is anybody else out there like this? After about 2-3 weeks sleeping in one place in one position, I get really bored and can't sleep and have to either like flip sides of the bed or flip upside down or sleep on the floor, sleep in a different room, sleep on the couch. My dad was that way too. It's not that I'm unhappy or uncomfortable. I just can't. I need excitement. I don't know. It's like a wanderlust of sleeping.
Do you have sleep boredom?
Yeah, it's like sleep wanderlust or something. Or I have to put on like a YouTube video of like, oh, you're in a car with the rain and it's like a picture. It's weird. But anyway. Okay, so lastly, Keith,
wait. So go back. We got sleep. You made Jen camp out with you where?
Living room floor. We put on like a show we wanted to watch together, and then we got the sleeping bag out and a couple of blankets, and it was fun.
That's really cute. That's very romantic.
Sometimes she'll make me do it on my own. Like she'll go sleep on the couch, but sometimes she'll do the adventure with me, which is fun.
I gotta say that one of my favorite things about Jen is she's like up for it.
She's game. Jen is game.
She's game.
Yep.
She's game.
Come on.
Sorry, you were saying.
Oh, just
Tux wants to be a part of the show. Charlie got a segment.
He did.
Tux wants a segment.
All right, so this might be fast. We might be done, but I wanted to pull up this Reddit/geek board and see if there's anything in there we think is cool, Keith.
Okay.
We'll look at like the top 10 from this month, and we'll give it a thumbs up, thumbs down each post. Okay, what do you think?
Okay, sure.
You are joking, Kat. Okay, please sit down.
So if I see like Pepe the clown, the frog, I'm out of here.
Yeah, if it gets weird, we'll bail. Okay,
right.
So let me move this up. That's actually not too bad. Okay. All right. So here we go. We're looking at /geek. Top of, let's say, the month of January.
Okay. PC with a stained glass window. Beautiful. Cool.
That's pretty,
I like it.
Let me page down. Let me zoom out. Okay, the cat zoomed. All right, that's pretty cool. We'll take that.
Thumbs up. 100%. 100% thumbs up. Stained glass window on your PC.
That is rad. Building a PC,
beautiful.
As much as I felt accomplished for having done it, Keith, the stress level wasn't worth it.
No, but I love that. It's beautiful.
A keyboard waffle with a so that's I guess we should say this. That's a user/solid nightcap. So
sure.
Thanks, solid nightcap. A keyboard waffle with pastry mouse.
No. Because it reminds me of work when I'm having breakfast. Thumbs down.
Yeah, I don't want to mix food. I don't want to mix food and work.
That's right.
Although, I mean, kudos. How do you get that? Maybe someone must. I guess that's like
an
Etsy
waffle iron.
Etsy waffle iron.
Custom-made waffle iron. Yeah.
All right, so that's a thumbs down for Keith. Thank you.
It looks delicious. I'd still eat it. Don't get me wrong. I would 100% eat it.
Well, yeah, I've never met a waffle I wouldn't eat, to be honest. Keith, this is
Yep.
the content we've been clamoring for.
Oh my God.
All right, a friend painted this for me for Christmas. I'm stoked.
100%. Love it.
Oh,
Thumbs
that's
up.
rad. What does it look?
Beautiful.
What is it? Just on canvas? Oh no, like
I
a.
think so. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thumbs up. 100%.
Thank you, user Pirate Tea Party.
Mm-hmm.
Totally sure that's kosher. Anti-smoking poster.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I think that's fantastic.
Wait, hold on. I see the lungs. I see the cigarette down there. What's the 1 pixel there?
They're playing the little pong or the whatever you call it.
Oh, like Arkanoid.
Yeah, like each one of those, like it hits
Each
it.
cigarette
Deletes,
is.
it
Yo,
deletes one of those
that's
pieces.
so cool.
It's fantastic.
Yo, that's rad. Thumbs up from us.
Thumbs
Yeah.
up. 100% thumbs up. That's brilliant.
Oh, inquiring minds want to know: are you Team Castle Grayskull or Team Snake Mountain? Okay, so Castle Grayskull was one of my favorite toys. Loved it. That thing opened up on a hinge, and there was like a little playset inside. Oh, I never had that.
I didn't
never had
have either
Snake
one of
Man.
those.
Oh,
What is that from? Like,
that was the bad guys. That was Skeletor's jam. Grayskull is where Adam lived. Adam and He-Man lived, but I believe this was where.
oh, well, I think I was thinking about going Castle Grayskull, but when you have a monster puking lava,
Yeah, that's pretty
that's
cool.
that's gonna get it for me every time.
All right, I'm going Grayskull though, but
All right. Well,
a Game Boy Advanced SP with a Zeldum custom job. That's cool. I don't even know how you did that.
yeah. I mean, it looks cool. I didn't play Zelda very much, so I don't have enough of an attachment to it to give it a thumbs. I mean, it looks nice.
So I never could play a Game Boy or a Game Gear, or any of the handhelds. Never could do it because they were so small I couldn't see what was happening. Keith, wasn't until I was a junior in high school that I realized I needed glasses, and at that point, handhelds were like not my thing. So I never had a handheld because I couldn't see
crazy.
them. Yeah.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, here's how old I am. The original Game Boy, right, did not have a lit screen. So you
Right.
couldn't play
Edge-lit.
it unless you were in the light. And so, but I wanted to keep playing it, but when in bed after I'd gone to sleep, but I wasn't allowed to turn the light on. So I learned how to beat the first 2 levels of Mario blind.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh heck yeah! Loving this Shaun of the Dead action figure. You got a little red on you. That is cool.
Great. Yep. Thumbs up. I love Shaun of
I
the
love
Dead.
Shaun of the Dead. I
Figure
love these
looks
sort
great.
of like in the collector's aisles of like your Targets and stuff. You can find
Like
some really
super
cool.
specific.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, great. Love it. Realistic drawings of an orc.
Oh, that's rad.
Ooh, that's
Is
hand
that pencil
done?
drawing?
Yeah.
That's Leandro Bueno art. Leandro Bueno art.
Leandro Bueno art.
Big
Love it.
Big fan. Only a
Love it. Great.
Star Wars fan can see it. Oh, it's Vader in the cat.
Oh, that's so cool. And a cat. Yeah, thumbs up
That's
there.
definitely our content. Yeah.
That's very much our content.
That's a painting
Another
on canvas.
oil painting.
Crazy.
Looks good. Looks good.
Oh, that's cool. All right.
Millennium Falcon, original one in the
Oh,
shop.
it's
Great.
a great Kratos. That's a 3D print.
Hand painting 3D print. Ooh, wow.
The 3D printing.
Wow.
You know, I saw
It's
one in Best Buy. It was like $400. That's like within the realm of I mean, I don't know wouldn't know what I would do with it, but I guess I bet you can download a bunch of like pre-done stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's what you can do if you don't have talent. Which is like,
You know, the other option is to just start a YouTube show and show other people's customs.
I think that's a great plan.
Oh, that's cool. I don't know what that is, but
I don't know what that is either. Looks nice.
Ad.
An ad.
I'm not a I never was Pokemon. Were you too old for Pokemon too?
I was definitely too old for Pokemon, although I bought some for my nephew for Christmas. That was really fun.
Oh, now that is cool. This is called Incredible Game Collection.
Wow.
See, Keith, this speaks to you because they created like a little museum.
In the basement, yeah. I mean, look right behind me. That's exactly what that is.
Super
Yeah,
rad.
very, very cool. I mean, games just aren't in that medium anymore, but that's cool. Masters of the Universe cassette recorder.
That's just
Hell
their
yeah.
collection, yeah. So,
Deceased Aquaman?
oh, that's funny.
Is he like a zombie or I don't know. That's funny. I
Keith,
like
you
it.
love the
Roadblock.
G.I. Joe, yep.
Yeah, although look, I'm an old guy, so I want my GI Joes. I want my original GI Joes. Wow, cool.
All right, so there's some great action figures. There's clearly plenty of action figures for us to expand our line when the time comes.
Oh. I'm out of shelf space, guys. I am out of shelf space.
All right, so I just wanted to take a peek over. You know what? /geek is cool over on Reddit. We'll take a look again. We'll definitely take a look again.
Like a quick thumbs up, thumbs down. That was a fun segment. I'll buy that.
All right, well, listen, guys, we were a little bit all over the place this week, but that's okay. That's
a shock. First time ever.
I will say that just kind of browsing Twitter or Reddit or just kind of like interneting is what I do a good portion of the day when I need a break from work, which is what I'm going to get back to right now, Keith. But oh no, I had it. Oh no. Here, talk for a second. Maybe really thank our patrons while I pull up
well, I would like to thank our patrons: Brian Kaufman, Casey Clark, Cloud Lover 69, Jason Moe, Andrew Hayes, Jorge Navoa, and the Mysterious Wharfs, Boot Shiv, CRM Productions, Charles Babbage, Nikolai Ivanovich Lobachevsky at Grim Toys, Delusions at Noon, and Eric Wilson. You can join them at patreon.com/K&M, where you get all sorts of fun bonus materials, and you can check out our other shows, including Look at My Star Trek Toys, which tomorrow we're going to film 2 new episodes about custom figures with some more amazing work from some new amazing artists, which I'm very excited to start showing. You can also check out Keith and Mike Watch Deep Space Nine. We are deep into season 2 of Deep Space Nine. It's really fun. You should come join us here in your feed or on the audio feed. Michael, are you ready?
I am, Keith. Thanks to ChatGPT, which says the following. Let's get him. Oh, no. Cat, please stop. Okay, let's get him up. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you learned something new. K&M Geekly. Till next time. Adieu.
Oh. Wow, that's creepy.
We're out of a job.
So out of a job. It's ridiculous.